Hello! What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another prediction video. At the time of recording this, Croatia has just beaten Japan, and now they're going to be facing Brazil, which will be very tough. But we're going to be looking at every single quarterfinal matchup through the Pooky website, and you should definitely send your predictions onto Pooky as well. The game is currently in its free-to-play stage, and if you get scorelines correct, you will receive Matic currency along with Pooky balls, which will be massive perks for your predictions later down the road.
Pooky balls are not only the gateway to the game, but they also have a fun gamification element to the prediction, since they come in different rarities and traits, which will affect the points after each prediction. Once you sign up, you can choose 2 free Pooky balls, so choose wisely.
If your predictions are amongst the best, you can receive loads of rewards, such as a PS5, FIFA 23, Pooky apparel like t-shirts and caps, and gaming vouchers on your preferred console.
Make sure you join by clicking the link in the description below to prove that you are a better predictor than Izai.
Let's start this video off with the matchup I am most nervous about. Croatia versus Brazil. We had a pretty solid display against Japan. Well, not at the beginning. Croatia were very terrible in that first half. I was very disappointed in this side. Very much picked it up in the second. And we did what we do best, win on penalties in the knockouts. A lot of flaws on this team though. We saw Juranovic all over the place in that first half, giving away so much possession, having miscommunication with AAvfx. It looked like he was about to score an own goal from where we were sitting. Strange subs that Dalic implemented. I mean, he started Petkovic, who looked asleep the entire match. Then he brought on Budimir, and then he decided to sub off Budimir. I mean, thank God that he did. He was barely doing anything. Definitely not the brightest performance from Croatia, and they definitely need to sharpen up if they want any chance against the mighty Brazil. This side for so many people are the World Cup favorites, and rightfully so. They just destroyed South Korea 4-1, as I predicted. This side has the most depth in the attack out of any side at the World Cup, and in fact, in any department in general, this is the most stacked squad, in my opinion, at the tournament. Yes, they lost to Cameroon, but they definitely were not too worried about that match because they already had first place. They already qualified, and they were definitely resting a decent amount of players, taking advantage of the depth they had. There's just too much quality on this side for me to ignore, and I am very nervous, especially with how shaky the fullbacks have been for Croatia at times. Those wingers, like Vinicius Jr. with that electric pace, Croatia should be worried.
I've witnessed one of the best World Cup goals in my life. Brazil's team is just another element for this World Cup. Croatia is not a flawless team, but again, I don't think this is an impossible feat. I think it's very possible that Croatia can tie this game up in a 2-2 match, and I think their best shot is to take it to penalties. Keep it 2-2 and take it overtime to penalties and win from there.
Oh, bro, I appreciate
Absolutely.
the confidence.
Yeah.
That's incredible. They're going to want to seek revenge after that 2014 opener. Regardless, though, Brazil, to me, just looked too good in this. I want to be as hopeful as Zishan over here, but I can't see it, man. In my other video, my knockout video, I had Croatia going all the way to the final, but I put them on the other side of the bracket. Gvardiol has been insane. Livakovic was an absolute hero against Japan, as we saw. I don't think we're going to concede as much as Korea, but I do have Brazil going through. I'm sorry, Hrvatska, but I'm going to say this one finishes 2-0 for Brazil. Remember when everybody was writing off Croatia in that semifinal against England? Every single pundit was saying that Croatia were doomed. This was going to be England's easy chance to the final. We proved them wrong, didn't we? Do it again, idemo! But yeah, I'm sorry. I think this Brazil side is just so much better than England in 2018. All right, so now we got Georgia, the Paraguay, and we're going to be bouncing back and forth in between guests, and we're recording this at all different days. But moving on to Netherlands versus Argentina. Now this is actually a repeat of the 2014 semifinal matchup. These sides faced each other and it finished 0-0 going to penalties. Argentina were able to be victorious, as we all know. They made it to the final and then lost to Germany. Netherlands are definitely going to be determined to make the comeback. Now, in all of my prediction videos, I actually had this matchup being a possibility for the quarterfinals, but I always expected Argentina to go through. This time, however, it's definitely more tricky of a situation to kind of pick out at. Argentina have been really cutting a lot of matches close. They barely beat Australia, just 2-1. This side already lost to Saudi Arabia at the beginning of the tournament. They obviously had convincing displays against Poland and Mexico, beating them both 2-0, but of course that's expected. Now they're coming up against a giant, a European team that is in terrific form. Netherlands were undefeated in the Nations League. They were undefeated in their World Cup group. They beat the USA by a very solid margin, 3-1. It's really a flip of a coin in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised to see either of these teams make it to the semifinals.
I feel like Argentina has been depending a little too much on Messi. Not as much as they used to. I think their team this World Cup is much stronger and much more balanced than in 2014. You know, if Messi has an off night against Netherlands, then I don't think the rest of the team, as good as they are, can match Netherlands level. You know, when you look at their team, I wouldn't say they have one player that stands out far and beyond the rest. So, you know, you might think I'm gonna choose Netherlands having said what I just said, but there's something that, you know, I can't put my finger on it, but I just feel like Argentina, they have luck on their side in this World Cup. They haven't been as convincing as some other teams, like their margins haven't been, you know, as big as other teams, but man, they have a really good team spirit right now, and things just seem to be falling in place for Argentina. So I'll say Argentina is gonna win 2-1 on extra time.
Yeah, even though you made so many great arguments about Netherlands, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Yeah, right now they look like overall the better side, way more composed. Argentina genuinely have been bang average. Apart from Messi's brilliance, I was expecting more from this side as a whole. They were terrific for so long, undefeated in so long until they faced Saudi Arabia. The thing is though, you're absolutely right. When you look at how Argentina have been barely clutching some of these games and how luck can still be on their side, that's pretty much what happened in 2014. Every single match they played that year, they won by 1 goal. The only exception, I believe, was when they drew with Netherlands last time 0-0 and went to penalties. And then in the final, they only lost by 1 goal. Everything was cut so close for Argentina in that tournament, yet they still made it all the way to the final. It seems like this one could be a very similar pattern here. The team spirit is there. They're still just pulling through. If you're gonna look objectively, it makes sense to go with Netherlands. I really think this is 50-50, but just based on the potential script, it really seems like Argentina are the destined ones to make it to the semifinals. I'm gonna say luck goes on their way once again. It's gonna be very, very similar to 2014. I'm actually gonna go for an exact repeat here. I'm gonna say it finishes 0-0 and Argentina advance on penalties. Now taking a look at the other side of the bracket, England versus France. Now this is actually a really tough one to call. Both of these sides have been terrific in this tournament, right? We saw England destroy Senegal 3-0. We saw France do the same against Poland. They won 3-1, conceding a very last-minute penalty. France really have been proving so many doubters wrong. So many injuries, yet they're still very much pulling through. Kylian Mbappe proving to be just one of the most phenomenal players at the World Cup tournament. Olivier Giroud has also been proven to be very clinical. No Benzema, no problem for this side. Both of these sides were very disappointing in the Nations League, but they've turned things around, genuinely both looking like favorites to make it all the way to the final.
We were talking about the last World Cup. People argued that England didn't have the hardest path, but this can't be any harder in my opinion. I mean, you look at how dominant France has been, smashing through competition. The last few performances of Mbappe, like, I haven't seen that in such a long time. If you want to talk about form, I don't know if you can get any better than what Mbappe is right now. I think he's not showing any signs of slowing down. Like, he wants to prove people wrong. He wants to win another World Cup. I think that would be so legendary. And now that, you know, France finally broke the World Cup curse, I think they're just gonna keep proving people wrong. So I'll say France is gonna win this game. And I believe the scoreline will be 3-2.
I'm actually gonna completely agree with your scoreline. I hate to be boring, but I'm also gonna go for 3-2. I see it being high scoring. I see it being a thriller, but France escaping. I see it being a similar pace to how France and Argentina went in the round of 16s last year, but France advanced. I know, I had this side getting knocked out of the group stage. Embarrassing prediction, but I just was thinking that World Cup curse would happen. I think they have what it takes to make it to the semifinals. All right, so we just got finished watching the final 2 matches for the round of 16, Spain versus Morocco, Portugal versus Switzerland. Wow. Although I was able to get 8 out of 8 winners right, I was not expecting some of these hefty scorelines, especially from Portugal. I've been criticizing this side mainly due to their manager Santos. I really felt like he was not a good fit for this national team. But I gotta give him credit this time around. He made a massive move which very much worked to his favor. And what was that? Benching Ronaldo. He put in Ramos from Benfica, who scored a freaking hat-trick, and it was a beautiful one as well. No disrespect to Ronaldo, but just goes to show he's been utilizing a lot of those great attackers Portugal possess, and they have had all great matches, even bringing on Leao as a sub. He curled in a beauty to get them that 6th goal. Shout out to Portugal for demolishing Switzerland. I thought this would be a way closer match than it was. And for Morocco, you gotta give this side credit as well. They were able to beat Spain on penalties 0-0. That was the criticism for Spain, that they could look toothless in some matches when they were coming up against a strong defense. Morocco's defense was very much present. Bono was incredible in the penalty shootout, saving every single penalty. It's remarkable. So for that final matchup that we haven't gone over yet, Morocco versus Portugal. It's a tough one to call. Because when you look at Morocco, they have only conceded 1 goal so far in this World Cup campaign, and that was against Canada. Portugal, on the other hand, have conceded quite a few. But look at the momentum they've been building in this tournament. The Korea match, maybe they weren't taking too seriously since they already secured that 1st place spot. Now they went all out against Switzerland, scoring 6 goals like I said. This just shows that this World Cup winner could be unpredictable and Portugal can have a very deep run themselves. Morocco are going to be very motivated though, like we mentioned. The Morocco fans have turned up to Qatar. They're everywhere. It could be a potential quote-unquote home advantage for them. This is their opportunity though. Another African nation has made it to the quarterfinals, but none have made it to the semis in history. Will Morocco be the first, Zishan?
This ain't a tough call. You said it's a tough call. Not a tough call for me. First African team making it to the semis will be Morocco, inshallah. Our Croatian and Moroccan buddies. You know what's up. You know we're going to make it happen. I know this guy likes to ride out Portugal. He likes to give too much credit to Portugal. Whatever, that's okay. Even though they beat a regular Swiss chocolate team, no big deal. But let me tell you something. Morocco's carrying it. Morocco's carrying it to the end. Morocco's carrying it to the quarterfinals, the semifinals. They could possibly even make it to the finals and meet Messi there. Or even Croatia. Even meet Modric once again. You never know. Looks like it's going to go to penalties for Morocco once again. I think Ronaldo, Pepe, Ramos, I think they're just going to try to do too many fancy shots. It's not going to work out. Morocco's going to make it simple, sweet. They're going to take the dub in penalties. Got to support my brothers.
That would be incredible once again if they're able to pull that off.
When they pull it off.
It seems like Morocco and Croatia have built a bond in this World Cup campaign. They faced each other at the beginning. They both made it out. Now we both want to meet in the final once again. That would be incredible if that is the final match. And I really hope Morocco pull through. However, I got to give Portugal props here. Switzerland are not a side to mess with. I've said it before, they're one of the most underrated teams in Europe, but they did not prove themselves against Portugal. Completely looked shot down. Yes, they were able to scrape a goal, but the fact that Portugal put away 6, it just shows that this side is very much building momentum. I don't think they're going to destroy Morocco by any means. I'm sorry, Morocco. Prove me wrong, but I'm saying Portugal grab a 2-1 win against the mighty Morocco. I think it's going to be close. I think a penalty shootout is definitely very much possible. I'm not trying to write off Morocco whatsoever.
Don't listen to this guy. He wants Portugal to win without Ronaldo. He wants Portugal to win with no credit guaranteed to Ronaldo. He wants to see that happen because he's anti-Ronaldo. He's anti-goat. He hates goats. He doesn't like animals. He's goat-phobic. Don't trust him. Do not trust this man. Morocco will win. My Moroccan brothers and sisters in the comments, you know what's going on. You know the momentum. You know the trajectory. You know how we just defeated Spain. You know it's been easy. You know we'll take it to the end. You know we'll take it in penalties. You know Portugal will be a tough time, but not the hardest time. We'll make it happen. Anyway.
I'm not goat-phobic, all right? I just think Portugal are onto something. Finally, it's about time. I mean, they did have some solid displays in the group stage, but this was just incredible from them. Ramos, the Benfica striker, has had an excellent year, and he's brought it into the international stage as well. Glad to see Santos implementing him. We shall see what this matchup holds. I'm very excited to see this one on this side of the bracket. I'm definitely going to be tuning into it, and I hope the best for for Morocco, but I gotta stick with Portugal winning this 2-1. Well guys, that's the end of all the predictions. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to share your predictions onto Pooky as well. Thank you to Zishan and Giorgio for joining me once again. This is our last night in Qatar, so after that it's just gonna be live streams from here, no more vlogs, but make sure you check them out if you haven't already. I posted quite a few on this trip. But thank you all for tuning in. Thanks to Zishan for being such an entertainment guest throughout all of these videos. It's been incredible. What a trip.
Croatia will beat Brazil, by the way. Don't even worry about that one.
I hope so. We're going to end it here. Again, let us know your thoughts. See you all very soon. Take care. Laku noć. Peace!